Welcome to Bench Burner MMA. We appreciate you guys hopping in as always. We're going to be talking about some news today, something we haven't done in a while. We usually touch on fight predictions, fight recaps, interviews, stuff like that. Today we're doing something that we used to do a lot under the old Bourbon and Bud banner. Now we're going to start doing it here too. Just touching on some quick news points. We're going to be doing some rapid fire takes and then some discussion afterwards. Um, as always, if you guys like our podcast, just touch in on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Give us a follow, subscribe, a like, a comment, whatever you can do. We appreciate everybody for hopping in as always. Um, I guess Knuckles, how you doing, bud?
What's up, man? I'm doing all right. I'm just chilling, Got some UFC going on in the background. Just ready to talk about some stuff. Been a minute since we've done an episode together, so I'm here. I'm ready to go. And well, I guess we did the live stream, but besides that, it's been a minute since we've done a recording. So yeah, I'm ready to go. Feeling good. How you doing, Coop?
Doing all right. Yeah, it's been a minute since we recorded. Nice to be back and excited to talk about some stuff and hear y'all's opinions and may or may not argue with them. So it's gonna be fun.
Square, what's up, bud?
Not a whole lot. I'm excited for this. I feel like we got a good energy going. I feel like this is gonna be a good one. I'm excited that kind of as you touched on, we're kind of switching things up a little bit, not our usual style, but I'm excited for this.
Oh yeah. Cool, yeah. So just touching on the first little tidbit of things that we wanted to talk about just earlier, or the earliest news point that came out was the Sphere card. It's only 10 fights, which we learned, I guess, a few weeks ago. But the 10 fights that are on the card, we now know the main card is Sean O'Malley versus Mayrob, Alexa Grasso versus Valentina, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez rebooked. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Killing. How do you fuck is that? Killing Ari. Keeling. I don't fucking know. Anyways,
Arichi Lang. It's Arichi Lang. Sorry.
that's what I said, dude. Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont. It's only a 10 fight card. Apparently, it cost them like 20 mil to even make this thing happen. So I guess they were just trying to cut down on fights to
They had to
avoid
get they had to get
crazy
fun.
tiger
They had to
payout.
get funding from Riyadh, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Um, so I guess, yeah, touching on it, I mean, the main talking point here is obviously it's underwhelming to a point, but I feel like, in my opinion, the atmosphere and the ambiance of the whole thing will make it worth it to a point where by the time we get to the main event of Sean O'Malley and Marab, we're all just going to be mesmerized and excited to see it happen, especially in the way it's going to happen in that arena. I get the discourse, on it. Like, it's only 10 fights on a pay per view, which sucks. In my opinion, it should not be a pay per view. I thought it wasn't going to be. I don't think it was going to be for a long time until they realized how much money they had to spend um, to make it happen. I don't think they'll ever do this again. Reasonably so. They're saying it's going to be the greatest sporting event ever put on, you know, live. So we'll see what happens there. Um, but I just think, given the circumstances, uh, given how much it's already cost them, I mean, they were announcing it's already cost them 16 million before they even announced any fights. So I get it to a point from a business standpoint. Like, they were probably a little bit in over their heads, and I would assume that they'd probably admit that now. But it will probably end up being worth it because there's probably going to be lines of people to buy that pay per view just because of where it is. So we'll see what happens. I don't hate it. I know it's underwhelming to a lot of people, but I'm sure everybody will tune in, even the ones that are pissed about it. But Knuckles, what's up, bud?
I think it's a lot of people. I mean, you look at it, and I said the same thing. The names, it doesn't have name value really outside of the top two fights. But if you really look at the matchups and look at who's fighting, if you know MMA, like we all know, there's banger matchups on it. I mean, you got Daniel Huber and Esteban Ribovic. That's a fun fight. Richie Lang and Raul Rosas Jr. should be a good fight too. And there's a few others, you know. You mentioned like Carol Hosa and Irina Aldana. I think was that one. I mean, there's good fights, but if you look at it, they're fun. Um, I think it's going to be a lot better than what we think. And I think 10 fights. I think 10 fights is going to be good. I wish we would have had a couple more. A lot of people aren't fans of the long cards. Like, I don't want like 14. I think 11 or 12 is like the perfect round number, at least for me. I think it's going to be a good card. If you guys remember, the Mexican Independence Day card last year was fucking fun. Like the whole vibe, the band, the mariachi band playing at the weigh-ins and like everything. It was a super fun vibe. I think we'll have something similar here. It'd be. I think it'd be just. I think the atmosphere watching it live in person would be fucking tremendous. I think that whole thing would be amazing. I think the broadcast will be fun too, but I can't even imagine what it would be to be live. So I think it's gonna be a fun card. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Yeah, just some damn good fights. I don't have too much of an opinion outside of that.
Cooper, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think in terms of name value, there isn't a lot. Like I do feel as though like the Raul Rosas and Irene Aldana, I feel like they should be on the main card. But again, I don't I'm not in the matchmaking position, so Hunter, Dana, and company, they all know what they're
They are
doing.
on the main card.
They are?
Yeah.
Raul isn't. Raul isn't. I don't think.
Yes, he is.
Oh, is he? Did they move him?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh shit. Well,
Because the initial was they were both on the undercard. So
I
Yeah.
could be wrong on that. Hold on. I
I'm gonna
mean,
look-
keep talking, but
yeah, that's besides the point.
I'll
I
look it
mean,
up real quick.
Dana was hailing this as a card that's gonna be unforgettable. Like, I think he used the comparison of like being it up to 300 level. This is not up to 300 level. Like, this is just
The
simply a card.
production value probably would be.
That's basically what I'm most curious to see. I mean, I do work in tech anyway, so I'm kind of the tech nerd in me is excited to see how they do this, but either way, I mean, I'm excited for Sean versus Marab. I'm excited to finally put an end to that Valentina and Shevchenko Alexa Grasso trilogy, and excited to see Ortega versus Lopez. So, yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun. I just love there's kind of consenting cards. Tapology has Raul and Aldana on the prelims. Google has them on the main card. I don't know, but
On the official bout lineup, according to Marcel Dorf, which is his usually right, Aldana and actually Rosas is opening the card, and Aldana is the fight before the featured prelim. So yeah, I don't know.
that's probably true.
My
Yeah.
my only problem is why the fuck do we have Rodriguez and Ode Osborne
Yeah.
fighting on the main card over like Bahamondes, Aldana, Rosas, like
Bahamondes, he says.
Bahamondes.
Bahamondes.
I'm trying to
Bahamondes.
put some respect on it, brother. I'm trying to put some respect.
What are we
But,
thinking, Matt? What are we thinking, buddy? Not the other Matt that's in this Zoom
I
call.
couldn't tell what the fuck you just said.
Oh, I didn't
And
say
you also
Cooper Knuckles.
muted right after you said it, so like, how am I supposed to talk?
After you said me. After you
Okay.
said me.
Anyways, I'm excited for the card. It definitely, like y'all were saying, doesn't quite live up to the expectations for the Sphere. Like you'd think that would be like the biggest thing ever, but they have done some solid shit this year. 300 happened just a couple months ago.
People are shitting on that too.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if it was like, it'd be a lot to expect, like a whole lot more from them after that. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see kind of how it plays out because I think this is a huge risk that they're taking because I feel like it could very easily fall flat on their face. Like if comes the day of the fights, they're putting the shit on ESPN Plus, and it just like doesn't look good. Like, I don't know, it could be something like weird where it's like our fan perspective just it doesn't look good. I don't know what the hell they're gonna put on the screen behind it. If they're just gonna put up like the fight, that might look goofy. If we're watching Sean O'Malley Marab and in the background we see like their thighs on the fucking.
You know what I think? I honestly think they'll have like a Mexican flag waving. I think that's probably what they'll do. Something like that, or like
they may also do like the Noche flag logo, like the stuff that they put on the outside. Because I've seen some stuff that they've done for like the NFL draft, or not NFL, NHL draft that they did in the Sphere, and they actually like had some of this stuff like listed there. So maybe they'll do like fight statistics, but I mean, it's something you just gotta manage with like tech and cameras and all that. But
so like I was saying, like it'll be exciting to see how they pull that off. I'll say this, and this might not be a popular take. I don't like that, like, and I get it. It's the night of Mexican or the weekend maybe of Mexican independence, and I love that they do the Noche thing, but I don't like the Sphere being the Noche card. Like, I feel like if it's the Sphere, that should be the focal point of the night. They shouldn't be doing like a theme outside of the Sphere. And it's fine, but and then also, like, how are you gonna say it's a love letter to Mexican fighters and then have Marab versus O'Malley?
That is true.
In the main event.
But remember, Marab's Mexican now. He's waving around the Mexican flag and everything. But
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
The title of the card is what fucking kills me, right? So it's a pay-per-view, and it is Riyadh Season Presents Noche UFC. Like, it's not UFC 30 fucking whatever
306.
Yeah, 306. It is. They're skipping the number completely. Like literally, Dana says it is called Riyadh Season Presents Noche UFC. So we're having a Middle Eastern company representing Mexican Independence Day in the USA.
Headlined by an American and a Georgian.
Hey, that's
what are we doing?
That's a combat sports melting pot right there. That's America, baby.
That's America, baby.
This is really an American.
Land of opportunity. Shout out Turkey Al Sheik, bro. Shout out Turkey Al Sheik. That motherfucker. All right.
It's interesting. We'll see what happens there. I mean, you know,
I had a few. What else are we going to cover too? I've got a few fight announcements maybe that we could like just touch on lightly.
We're going to touch on 308.
Okay.
308 Holloway versus Topuria got announced, or Topuria versus Holloway, sorry, as the main event. Co-main Robert Whitaker versus Hamzat, Cyril Gane versus Volkov, Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic, Jeff Neal versus RDA. I feel like are the main ones to touch on there. That's a sick.
Such a good fucking card.
Sick lineup of announcements. I guess we can start with RDA and Jeff Neal. It's a good fight. I would personally early lean RDA just because I feel like Jeff Neal just has shown more of a decline in the most recent memory than RDA. Granted, RDA is older for sure, but I think he's proven that he's still game. He can still go down and throw down. Jeff Neal, I know he's fought the best lately. I just feel like he's shown a sense of decline, and I think that will show even further in this one. Knuckles, what is your early thoughts on that one?
I don't really have too much of an opinion on it early. I'm kind of like honestly in between. I think that Jeff Neal, I think they're both getting older. I think Jeff Neal's size might present a problem, and his takedown defense is pretty solid. We saw it against Shavkat. He wasn't bad with his takedown defense. I honestly think it's going to be a pretty boring fight. Honestly, I know RDA is usually volume, but like lately as he's gotten older, he's just not been super excited. So super exciting. I'm gonna lean probably Jeff Neal by a decision, just kind of scraping by. That's just early thoughts. I think it'll be kind of a stalemate type of fight. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. Coop, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, I just got to do more research on this fight, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like, I feel like RDA, he's been around forever. Like, he was at the top of his game, arguably during like the Conor McGregor years, like the 2016, 2017, all that. And he's still sort of around and fighting today. I don't know if I don't think he'll get the win just because I like the experience of Jeff more than I do of RDA. But again, I'll just have to do more research on it to get like a more definitive pick. But yeah, that's my take for right now.
squared.
Yeah, for this one, I'll probably need a little more time to think on it, but I'm definitely leaning Jeff. Just feel like he's a little bit crisper, slightly, at this stage of his career. Maybe even a little more than slightly, to be honest. But yeah, it's hard to tell this far out, but I'm leaning Jeff.
Cool. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic is the next one we're going to talk about. I think Magomed goes in and does his thing. I think he's too long failed his opportunity to show the full aspect of his game. We've seen the full aspect of his game. He can strike, he can grapple. He just never puts it together in the correct ways. I think Alexander Rakic has been uncharacteristically inactive. Um, so I think that we could see Ankalaev come in here and just show him what's up and probably just. I think it will be a dominant like second or third round finish. We'll see. That's not my official prediction, but that's the way I lean early. What do you got, Knuckles?
Ankalaev because Rakic sucks. That's my pick. I can't fucking. I don't like Ankalaev, but I can't fucking stand Rakic. And I also just think he's just not that good. Um, and I think I think after he blew his fucking knee, he's looked a little. He looked good against Yuri until he got his ass beat. But unless he can do what he did against Yuri and leg kick the shit out of Ankalaev and stop it there, I don't see it. I think Ankalaev is better. So yeah, Ankalaev probably is gonna actually not. We'll get back to that. Because I was just not thinking Ankalaev is also really fucking stupid when it comes to fighting. His fight IQ is really fucking dumb. And I could see his stupid ass standing with Rakic and just getting laced to the fucking face. So yeah, we'll see. I don't have early prediction Ankalaev. That's pretty much what I got. Coop, what about you, bro?
I when I saw this fight was made, I was in the car with my brother, and my genuine reaction to him was, why the fuck did this fight get made? Because to be honest, I think Magomed's gonna run through him. Like, I think this fight will not be close. I think this is the fight that Magomed like sets in stone and like solidifies the fact that he deserves to be next in line for Alex Pereira, which I honestly thought he was going to get that title shot like now. Like, I thought his next fight was going to be for the title, but besides the point, I think the only path to victory I see really is like what Knuckles mentioned, is just leg kicking the fuck out of him. Just because like if you go back and watch the Jan Blachowicz fight, they went shin to shin, and Ankalaev was struggling. Like not he was not doing well. But
Just
I
hobbling,
think
bro.
yeah, I think um I think Ankalaev gets it done relatively easy and relatively quickly.
Right on.
Cool. Squared.
Yeah, I'm glad. I pretty much had the same reaction as Coop. I was like, why the hell? It makes me wonder what they're doing with Alex. We can talk about that later, but makes me wonder what their plans are for Alex. What's next for him? that was my first reaction because it was like, if not Ankalaev, then who the hell is he gonna, beat the shit out of someone he's already beat up before? But I just think Rakic is. I kind of thought about taking a shot at Coop right there and just being like, man, if you lose to Yuri, what the fuck? But I'm not going to do that. We're not going to get into that. But
Hey, and I appreciate that.
Well, actually,
shut your damn mouth.
No, it's all jokes. I love Yuri. But yeah, I mean, Rakic, I just, I don't know. He's not beating Ankalaev. Ankalaev is the guy he should be fighting for the belt. So who would I be to say that he's going to lose to this guy? But y'all do have a good point. Ankalaev is a little brain dead in the fight game. So maybe he makes some dumb choices, but I don't think he will.
He did not take. You can tell he is definitely not trained with the Abdulmanap clan at all. Like that dude has not gone anywhere near fucking Habib because his fight IQ is so fucking bad.
The next fight on that card that most recently announced was Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov 2. I think that'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a better fight than the last one, but I still think Cyril Gane comes out with the win. Cyril Gane's been training with world-class judo partners. Yes, Alexander Volkov's been on a tear, but we've seen it time and time again. Every single time that Volkov goes up against a true top 3 contender, he just can't get it done. And I see that trend continuing, and I see Cyril finishing this time. Knuckles, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Volkov's going to press the grappling issue. I think his grappling is substantially increased. Early thoughts are I don't really know 100% because Cyril is good at striking, but his coach is also Fernand Lopez, and Fernand Lopez fucking sucks and has horrible game plans 9 times out of 10. So, yeah, probably leaning Volkov in grappling, like clinch situations and grappling. And I think that he's tall enough that he can find his way inside the range better than Cyril can. So yeah, not super confident in it, but that more discussion will come in the future. But early prediction, Volkov. Coop, what about you, man?
Yeah, this fight is pretty hard to predict for me. I think, Cyril, as you mentioned, Max, has been training with some pretty great judo fighters. And for those who don't know or aren't familiar, France is one of the titans when it comes to judo in the international scene.
Oh, dude, they're fucking killing it in the Olympics this year.
Like one of the greatest active judoka considered all time, Teddy Ranier. He's French and he's competing for, I believe, his 3rd or 4th gold medal in this Olympics, in his final Olympics too. So that's just a small testament to how good some of these French judokas are, and how I believe those will be the difference. Because Cyril's striking he moves like a middleweight at heavyweight, which is something we really don't see, except for, you can argue, Tom Aspinall. But outside of that, you really don't see movement and striking like that all that often. But yeah, I think Gane gets it done. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think that fight with Pavlovich served Volkov well to get that sort of demon, relatively speaking, in his past. And I think Gane gets it done. I'd say a decision. That's my prediction. Next,
Can I interject?
Yeah, go for it.
Interject. Also, you have to remember that judo is mainly an offensive-based grappling. It's not defensively based grappling. It's mostly offensive.
He's had some Dagestanis. He's had some Dagestanis in there.
But also, I want to point out too, because Coop mentioned the people that he's training with and coaches and stuff. His head coach is Fernand Lopez. Just gonna say that again. Go ahead. Sorry.
We know you hate him. We know.
He fucking sucks. Anyway,
Matt, go for it.
So I just want to address this. You're not gonna catch up on the many years of grappling that you've been lacking. You can fucking train with Khabib for 5 months straight, every single day,
Bilal
all
did it.
damn day long.
Well, Bilal had a wrestling background already, bro.
A decent wrestler, and you're not gonna just pick up on like the years and years of grappling or any kind of martial art that you've been lacking for all that time.
Is that what Volkov
Prime
has?
example.
Is that what Volkov? Is that what Volkov has?
CM Punk.
Is that what Volkov has? Is years and years of Dagestani training?
Have you seen the dude lately with his grappling compared to fucking Gon?
Against Sergey Pavlovich?
Anyway, no, I'm talking about his like against fucking my guy, Milkbag.
Yeah, against Alexander Romanov, who just lost a grappling match in karate combat.
But he's still
Oh,
again.
Oh, scary.
All right, Matt, go ahead. We got to save this. We got to save this energy, Max, because we got like we're gonna argue about it in a few weeks anyway. So
I'm not really comfortable picking either way because Surreal is a very, very, very good striker, and that can get you really far. He really just needs takedown defense, and I know that's oversimplifying.
He did against Pavlovich, who is about the same level of grappler, if not better than Volkov, in my opinion.
no, Spivak.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Spivak. My bad. Sergey's. I get confused.
You're gay, sir.
They just all blend in.
They're a bunch of milk bags, dude. They're white.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, he's
kind of chunky.
Fat dudes, first of all. Anyways, yeah. So I don't feel comfortable, but I do really like what I'm seeing from Volkov, and then what I'm seeing from Surreal is like, I mean, like I said, great striker, and I think he can put up a fight against anybody, except for anyone who could take him down. But he seems to be in kind of this rhythm that I just don't like to see, which is fight for a title, beat up a fat guy, fight for a title, beat up a fat guy. And he just beat up a fat guy. Now he's switching it up and doing a little rematch. So I do appreciate that. Not that was really his choice. I'm sure.
How many guys in heavyweight to beat are not fat guys?
You done?
I mean, it's a fair counterpoint.
That's also why they've said for a while
name any
weight
non-fat
weight
guy
limit used to be 250.
Yeah, I mean, how many non-fat guy heavyweights are there? There's Aspinall, there's Jon Jones, and Francis Ngannou, and Curtis Blades.
Pavlovich.
He's a fat guy.
No.
Have you?
Okay.
He's not like ripped.
Fine.
He's not like ripped, but he's not like chubby.
But
did you guys see him before he fought fucking Volkov? I mean,
in my opinion, he's like the middle ground between Francis and Derek Lewis in terms of body.
Okay, let me find this fucking picture. Hang on, I'm gonna fucking send it to you guys. Go ahead and argue though.
My point is, say Jotun. That's another guy that I'd like to throw in there. Who's not a fat guy. I don't know if anyone said Curtis either. Max was talking, so I just
Almeida.
Oh, that's so cute.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just like what I'm seeing from Volkov a little bit more right now. Like I said, not confident in the pick, but I will say I'm leaning towards Volkov.
Cool. So Knuckles and Matt will be viciously wrong. That's cool. Anyways, I just want to see. So he beat Sergey Spivak, definitely a fat guy. I mean, he's beat a lot of fat guys for sure. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, to get up to
check the fucking group text whenever you get a second. Tell me that motherfucker's fat. That's fat.
Is he not a fat guy? Is my question.
Volkov.
That's true.
I think my assumption was fair. Like it's in between Francis and Derek Lewis in terms of body.
Yeah, when you got abs and fucking defined pecs, you're not between Francis and Derek.
Okay,
Lewis.
you can not call those abs. Like that's.
I don't think Sergey Spivak.
There are very clearly. Never mind. Okay, let's
very clearly abs where, dude? There's not an ab in that picture. Maybe like a 4-pack. Not even a 4-pack.
Did you say between Francis and Derek Lewis. Is that what I heard?
His biceps are insane.
Derek Lewis also does have a 6-pack, if you guys remember.
Yeah,
That motherfucker legitimately.
That's such a wide range.
He had a 6-pack once.
I'm between Francis.
Derek Lewis had a 6-pack one time, and he lost.
What'd you say, Matt? What'd you say?
I was just saying that Francis and Derek Lewis is a wide range. I'm in that range. Like that, anyone can fit in that range. Those are two. That is really strong muscle.
I'm more on the Derek Lewis side.
That is fair. That is a wide range, but still, regardless,
if he's between those two, he's
heavyweights that are not fat boys is very far and few between.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, remember Tim Sylvia was champion at one point.
Everyone they put in front of him, besides world championship level fighters, he's dominated. So,
dude, it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy to me that we have had literal milk bags as champions at one point in the heavyweight division. Tim Sylvia is a perfect example.
Real sport that doesn't kill them, like football or basketball.
I miss Chuck Liddell as champion.
Chuck Liddell, yeah, dude, I miss.
Yeah.
That's it. Just wanted to say
No, the best fucking era ever. I still stand to this point. 2004 to 2009 was the best era of MMA ever, in my opinion. It was before fucking Brock Lesnar already broke it by like 2008, 2009, but like it was before Conor came in and ruined the whole fucking thing. So it was perfect. It was a great time. It was a great time. Nobody else watched the shit. Nobody else fucking cared about the shit. We watched it. It was a lot more violent too, kind of in a way, like not as, but still, because people were so sloppy. So you got way more knockouts. You had Shogun who face stomping fucking people in Pride. You had like Rampage Jackson picking people up and slamming them on their fucking head, and also Vanderlei Silva kneeing Rampage Jackson while Rampage Jackson's falling through the fucking ropes. It was just a great time, dude. It was a great time. I want it back so bad. Want it back so bad. It's great. And then the fucking Yakuza had to ruin everything. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
The next fight, I'm sure we'll talk more about that one. The next fight on that card is coming Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. Just very quick, we've already talked about this on the podcast before because it was already announced before. I'm going to go Chimaev just to be honest. I see Chimaev just ragdolling him. Unfortunately, I really hope I'm wrong. I hope to see Rob just beat the living daylights out of him, but I just don't see it happening. I just see Chimaev kind of ragdolling him. Chimaev's a big middleweight. Rob is arguably a smaller middleweight every time somehow. I just see it going that way. Not much to say on that besides that. We've already talked about it on here before. I just see Khamzat ragdolling him, probably stubbing him in some form or fashion if the fight happens. I mean, that's why I'm also being short, because who knows the fuck if that fight's gonna even happen. Knuckles, what do you think? I know what you think, but what do you think?
If the fight happens, I think Rob's gonna win it because I think Khamzat was kind of a weight bully at 170. I said this before. Yeah. Same thing. But my actual prediction is, and I'm saying this because I want the fight to happen, but it's just like the Kayla Harrison thing. Khamzat's not making it to the fight. He's not. He's gonna get fucking sick. Ooh, I got a fucking cold. Anyway, yeah.
He was pretty sick last time, to be fair.
He was violently ill.
Yeah, he overtrains is what he does. Legitimately, no, it can happen. You can make your body shut down.
He's done it several times.
I mean, hey, that shows that dude's a fucking beast, though. Like, he's kicking ass out there. But no, I hope he makes it. I hope he makes it to the fight. I have faith it'll happen, but I just have that nagging suspicion it won't. But obviously, always Rob all day. That's my big pick. Coop, what do you got, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a tweet where it was like, you can now bet on Khamzat Chimaev making it to the fight, and Khamzat Chimaev is now favored to either not make weight or miss the fight entirely more than he is to beat Robert Whittaker. I just wanted to add that because I thought that was funny. But I think it's a close fight. I think if Rob can withstand the constant pressure of the takedowns, I feel like he does well. I think the Kamaru Usman fight with Hamzat was a great example because he was able to withstand, although he got dominated that first round, he was able to withstand the onslaught and he was able to land some effective stuff in there and got some success in the striking department. If Robert Whitaker can do that, I think he can win this fight easily, like maybe a 29-28 decision. Because this is 3 rounds, right? It isn't 5.
I think so, yeah.
3.
Yeah.
3.
So I feel like this is Robert's fight to win, or it's Robert's fight to lose. And it all depends on how he comes into it and how well he fares against some of the attacks. But yeah, I'm going Robert Whitaker by decision. I think it is going to be like a 29-28. And yeah.
Matt, what do you think, man?
So if this was the 5-rounder that it was originally going to be about a month or two ago, I definitely would have picked Rob, but now that it's a 3-rounder, I'm thinking Hamzat by sketchy ass decision, which is his favorite method of victory. But yeah, I used to be a huge Hamzat guy. When he first came into the UFC, he got those 2 wins in 10 days. I was like, holy shit, this guy's the fucking future right here. Then flash forward, the Gilbert Burns fight happens. I was like, yeah, well, that's a big step up. That's understandable.
That's like the one, man. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it just kind of kept on going. Where every fight I watch him, obviously there's the Holland fight, which was just the whole scenario was insane. But he's had so many fights now where I'm just like, oh man, all of his weaknesses are so apparent. Horrible head movement, horrible gas tank. I don't know. He's one of those like undefeated fighters that doesn't really feel undefeated. Like you're like, oh yeah, he is like what 13-0 or whatever. And it just feels like he's lost.
17.
I thought he. I will say, I thought he drew to Kamaru. I thought that was a draw. But
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's only a matter of time before Hamzat runs into a mountain he can't climb, so to speak. But I just don't know if a 3-rounder with Rob's going to be that mountain. He might be able to eke past this one, but I don't think it'll be too pretty for him. I think Rob will definitely give him some major issues.
Can I ask you guys just real quick, rapid fire thing?
Hell no.
Do you guys think that Hamzat could beat DDP right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
DDP's got good grappling. Like I'm like,
yeah, but what grapplers like Hamzat level grapplers has he fought?
He's also like, how much bigger though is he than Hamzat? He's fucking big.
Dude, I think you guys underestimate Hamzat's size.
He's thick with a few C's. Like
I think you guys are gonna see Hamzat stand next to Robert Whitaker and you're gonna be like, oh fuck.
He's tall.
He's definitely
I will give him
bigger than him, but it's not gonna be like that one picture of what's his name? Rachmanov when he was facing off with that one dude that was like staring him in the belly button. Like,
dude, it was like Stefan Struve and fucking Pat Barry all
I don't know, dude. I just think there might be some surprise here. I get it, but
yep.
Alrighty.
I guess the next thing we're going to talk about is the whole situation with Muhammad Mokaev. Winning at 305 was
Ilya
it?
Max?
304.
Wait,
shit, yeah, fucking Ilya Max. My bad. Yeah, we got to talk about Ilya Max. That one I just don't know. I don't know. I never know. You never know with a Max fight. Every time we pick against him, he tends to come out on top. Every time we pick for him, he still tends to come out on top. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just really hope he beats that fake Spaniard little midget. I really hope he does. I think Max can do it. I think Ilya is rating himself a little bit too high at this point in his career. Granted, he just won the belt, so like all power to him to do that. But I just don't see him being quite as good as he thinks he is. I could see Max just going in there and being Max and just showing him what's up, being a masterclass. Um, it'll be competitive, I think, but I think it'll be almost like Max versus Gaethje. I think this might be one of the one few fights in Max's career where he looks like the much bigger guy. Um, I just think that Max has too much for him. Um, as weird as that to say, because I know Volk beat him 3 times, arguably twice, and Volk he beat him 3 times. Anyways, Volk got KO'd by Ilya, so MMA math doesn't work though. So I just don't know. I think Max has the toolbox to get it done, and I think we see that. But we'll see. We'll talk about it further, on a different episode. Knuckles, what do you think?
I can't make a prediction at this point, man. Like I'm just being straight up. I don't. I've thought about it. I've thought about it since UFC 300 because I knew that's what was going to happen. And I still I just don't fucking know, dude. Like Ilya is that good, dude. I think he's on par with. I know he beat Volk, but like if we talk skill and skill, I think he is at Volk's skill level. But can he do what Volk did to Max? I'm not sure about that. And experience plays a part. Volk has a shit ton of experience. Ilya doesn't. I don't know. Early prediction, I don't know. It's going to be a banging fucking fight, banging ass fight. Huh?
We're here. Sorry, we're here.
Oh, you're all good. I'm just excited to see it, dude. I'm fucking pumped for that fight. That's going to be such a good fucking fight. Abu Dhabi is going to be super interesting. Time zone favors Ilya. I know a lot of people don't throw a lot of stock into that, but I think that time zones do play a difference. But I don't think the fan base will be about even. Honestly, they might root for Max more because Max is just the fucking king anyway. But I don't know, man. Excited for it. No early prediction, really. Yeah. I can't make a pick at this point. Coop, what do you got?
Either way, like if Max wins or Ilya wins, I feel like we're gonna have a really good fucking fight on our hands. I feel like it's gonna be brute. Like I think it's gonna be gritty. I think whoever gets this is gonna have to like endure hell and back, since both of these guys are fantastic boxers. Max has power and he has that like endurance to keep throwing and just throwing shit and throwing shit. Ilya's got the power and he's also got like incredibly good fundamentals. So I would say it's so hard to predict, but I trust Max a lot more than I trust Ilya. So I'm picking Max, but honestly, I wouldn't be mad if I was wrong because this fight's going to be incredible nonetheless. So
That's fair.
what you thinking?
This is such a tough one. It's hard to doubt Ilya for obvious reasons. It's hard to doubt Max for obvious reasons because I am embarrassed to admit that I doubted Max pretty strongly going into the Gaethje fight.
Oh, I did too. I thought Gaethje was gonna fucking kill him, but go ahead, yeah.
And obviously that played out how it played out. Looking back on it, I guess Volk just kind of had that fucking kryptonite that the answer to the Max puzzle that not a lot of people and no one as of late has been able to solve. So yeah, God, this is a really, really intriguing fight because it's a guy that just seems to be untouchable at the moment versus a guy who has been untouchable for his entire career and has now got the belt for it. God,
untouchable until Jai Herbert fucking sparked him. Anyway,
that's a very good point. He's been touched.
That makes me wonder how good his chin actually is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was that 155 fight, which I mean, I mean, I don't know, that's not much. It's not very.
How many people? But how many people is Jai Herbert sparking though? He just had a decision last weekend. I'm just like. Anyway, sorry. I'm just
No,
speculating.
you're good. It's a very valid point. Uh, God, it is really this is a hard fucking fight to pick. I'm gonna say
I skipped it. I couldn't.
I'm gonna say Max just because he's got like first of all the experience in the world, and we know that his technique is just I wouldn't say like superior to Ilya's. It is better than Ilya's, but he's just got like elite technique. Whereas Ilya has, don't get me wrong, great technique, but I feel like his power can carry him sometimes. People forget that Volk was getting the better of him up until he wasn't. And, it's not like he was like piecing Ilya up or anything. And even if he was, this is the same guy that also beat Max 3 times. So, yeah, super hard fight to pick. Leaning towards Max, but that might change.
I'm fucking excited for that fight. I'm so pumped.
That's gonna be a real
That
good
card, dude. That whole card. Another one. Can we get that? I wanted to mention too when we were talking about fight announcements, and too, this is on this card. But early predictions for Lerone Murphy and Danny Ige. Anybody?
I mean, Lerone Murphy probably. I skipped that one just because I think Lerone Murphy kind of runs to him. I mean, Danny Gay is just. I like Danny Gay.
Get this man out of here.
Okay, Danny Gay every time he fights. I mean, Danny Gay is like the face of Gatekeeper. Like, no offense to him, he's a great fighter. He's got everything there. He's like a much better version of Jared Gordon. Like, he is just.
No.
Yes, he is.
But I've said this. He is the featherweight version of Pedro Munoz to a fucking T. Neither one of them have been knocked down.
He's better than Pedro Munoz. Yes, but Dan Ige always doesn't.
He's better than
Pedro.
You're throwing me for a loop, brother. They're the same fucking fighter. They're just they're the same fighter. Anyways,
Dan Ige just does not beat the top dogs, the guys that are up and coming that are really supposed to be at the top, like Lerone Murphy. I know Lerone Murphy has had some fights where he's had to answer some questions, and he has answered those questions at the end of the day. Those type of fighters just tend to beat guys like Dan Ige. I'm sorry. And Dan Ige is not getting any younger. So I just don't see it going Dan Ige's way. That was one of the reasons I skipped it. I honestly kind of figured we might be all the same page on that. So I just kind of skipped it. I got to be honest. I just don't see it happening. I think Lerone Murphy is just he could learn from a loss, but I don't think this is the one that he needs to learn from. I think he wins this one. Knuckles, go ahead.
I disagree. The only reason is because his best win is against a entirely, when I say entirely fucking washed Edson Barboza. I'm talking about like washed down the fucking hill. Edson Barboza was his best performance. Edson Barboza has been performing at the top of the level of MMA for like he's been in the top 10 of the lightweight
forever.
Like, dude, for fucking ever. He was fighting Habib almost a decade ago. So like that's where I'm at with it. He
didn't you just say on like 2 podcasts ago that Edson Barboza looks like a renowned Edson Barboza? I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, he looked renewed. He did look renewed at 145.
The same guy that got his ass beat and then came back and beat Sadiq Youssef. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same Edson Barboza here, right?
But I also don't rate Sadiq Youssef very high. Dude, if we're gonna get into a hierarchy
okay, let's just keep your fucking
if we're gonna get into a hierarchy,
Matt,
I'm gonna if we get into a hierarchy, I'm gonna make Matt mad because I also don't think that I don't think Sadiq Youssef is that good.
But let's keep our takes consistent here. When you just said, like on the last live episode, that Edson Barboza looked really good against Sadiq Youssef. You said that. That was your words.
But look at the Lerone performance and look at the Sadiq performance. There is a fucking wide range between the performances that happen. I know it's MMA math, and that is why I'm saying that I think Dan Ige matches up with Lerone Murphy perfectly, and I think that Dan Ige is going to beat him. And I just don't think I've never thought that Lerone is that great. I think he is good. He would beat people like Sadiq. He would beat people like I think Lerone Murphy would have a pretty damn good fight against Bryce Mitchell. He'd probably beat somebody like Bryce Mitchell. Maybe. It depends on how good Bryce Mitchell decides to like grapple that night and decides not to fucking strike. But like I honestly like I just don't rate Lerone Murphy that high. I think that Dan Ige is good enough to beat him because huh?
So I think you rate Dan Ige too high.
And that could be it too. I'm also like Matt, you got to remember how much I fucking love Extreme Couture. I just love that gym. I think that gym is the best gym on the planet. Call me fucking crazy. Call me crazy, but I think it's the best gym on the planet.
Last year, you could make that argument. This year,
I know they've had a fucking rough year, but like, I think that Eric has a good game plan. I mean, dude, if we remember right, if that fight against that fight against not Brian Ortega, but Diego Lopez was 5 rounds, but again, that's if it was 5 rounds, it wasn't, and he lost the fight. We know how it went, but like, that's what I'm saying, dude. I think if Eric gets that game plan right, I think that Dan's gonna beat Lerone. I think he's gonna be more pressure heavy. I think he's gonna be forward pressure heavy. That's gonna spell problems for Lerone. I don't think Lerone is gonna deal well with the pressure. That's just me. Sorry, we're gonna talk about this in the future. I'm cooking way too much on something that should be focused on in the future. I apologize. I think Dan's got it, dude, and I can't wait to talk about this fight more in the future. You can fucking cut everything that was said before that and just put that right there. That's what I want to say. Super excited for this fight, and I think I'm just really excited to see what happens.
I'm not cutting anything, dude. This is a good episode. I ain't cutting nothing.
Keeping it a little long, but
Coop?
I don't think.
Oh
not
shit!
to speak
Sorry.
on Coop's behalf, but I don't think either of us care about this fight.
I mean, like I need to do more research on this, but from like initial screenings and scans and stuff like that, I'm leaning towards Dan Ige. Like I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think it's gonna be a hard fought one. And I think just I trust Extreme Couture. Like I'm with Knuckles on this. I trust Extreme Couture a lot, and I feel like they know what it takes to get it done in situations like that. So tentatively, I'm going Dan Ige, but that pick may change. So
Coach Eric's the fucking man, baby.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm just gonna say Ige. I'll probably change my mind later. I don't know.
Max over here is so pissed because he's like, I thought everybody's gonna pick Lerone. Sorry.
Hey, I'm the clear dissenting view, I guess, so far, but that's okay. One thing we're gonna touch on the Mokaev situation. We might as well just touch on the Jon Jones situation just briefly because it's still clearly fluctuating. It's wild. I mean, he just docked somebody out of nowhere like last night, so we'll see.
Oh, did he post Tom's number?
No,
he posted an Illinois number. Like Glenn.
I texted that number. I was like, I feel bad for whoever this is.
but I don't want to talk about it too much because that fight will probably never happen. I mean, we can talk about it a little bit. Jon Jones is obviously going to fight Stipe and then probably put his gloves down in the ring. And that's really all I have to say about it because especially what Dana White said today, he kind of disrespected Tom in a way some people think. I don't know. I just don't think that fight's going to happen. So I think we should just say Jon Jones is going to beat Stipe and retire. And until that doesn't happen, I don't think there's too much to say on the matter. So I'll just leave it at that. Knuckles, what do you got?
I'm just gonna I want people to understand this. I'm done with this fucking discussion. I just want people to understand this because I'm gonna fucking put this as simply as possible for all of you MMA fans that are fucking sorry. Also try to keep the cussing down to a minimum, be respectful. Putting this out here for all of you MMA fans that do not understand the situation and don't like grasp how this is going and like can't see the tea leaves, can't read the tea leaves. Number one, Dana White has promised a million things in the past, 1.5 million things that have not come true. 1 million things. So all you people that are like, oh, but he promised Tom that he would fight the winner of this fight. Oh, and that's going to happen. No, it's Dana White. It's Dana White.
Ige the sphere.
Yeah, he promised Ige the spear. And
well, that was a whole different thing. There was no fight.
But still, he has promised so many different things to different people, and they haven't happened. 1 million times over. He said this will happen, that'll happen, this will happen, that'll happen. He said that slap fighting was going to be the biggest sport this year. Look where it's at. That's what I'm saying. Dana White says what Dana White says. He's never speaking truth. Never has spoken fucking truth, except for like, I mean, you know what I mean. But so number one, there's that. For all of you fans out there,
you said he's never spoke the truth. Let's hear it.
Number two, let me move on before I get too deep. Number two, Jon Jones is fucking retiring, dude. Like, what do you like? Look. Again, all of you fans out there, look at this. Plain, black and white, plain and simple. Here it is. There you go. They are fighting in New York City. Jon is from Tom's River, I believe. I think. I'm not mistaken. He's from the New York area. He has said multiple times, how awesome would it be to retire in my home area, my hometown, after beating the GOAT of the heavyweight division? Do you think Jon has anything to prove after defeating Stipe at heavyweight? Nothing. He could retire right now and he has nothing much else to prove. Unless he's fighting, I don't know. Yeah, he has nothing else to prove, but he's fighting Stipe to secure his legacy even more so. And that's great. We got two different Maxes in here. What is happening?
I think this glitch happened again where hold on.
Is this
Oh, shit.
is this
Nope, no glitch. Just me hating my laptop even more.
okay, anyway. So going on again. Jon Jones is retiring. There's nothing else. And even if let's say Stipe somehow miraculously pulls a fucking rabbit out of his ass. He's retiring. Stipe has even said, like, the only person I want to fight is Jon Jones. Who else is there to fight? So literally, once again, I'm going to run through this super quick. Dana White lies all the time. Jon Jones is retiring. That is all you need to know. I know I've spent too much time on this, but I want people to know. I want the people to realize this and put it in their fucking heads that the fight is not happening. Tom is not fighting Jon. Dana White is a liar 9 times out of 10. Love you, Dana. You do great work. I'm sorry if that offends you that I called you a liar, but you have lied so many fucking times in your career. It is not even funny. And Jon Jones is not fighting Stipe, or is not fighting Tom Aspinall. He's fighting Stipe Miocic, and he's going to retire, win or lose. And Stipe Miocic is going to retire, win or lose, and then Tom Aspinall will probably fight Jailton Almeida. There you go. Mystery busted. Sorry to burst your bubble. I've been watching the sport for fucking 20 years now. Literally 20 years. It is 20 years now. I've been watching the sport.
I want you to burst my bubble.
I'll burst your bubble.
Pause.
But this shit happens in MMA all the time. Every year. All the fucking time. They tried to make fucking Chuck versus Vanderlei for years. Never fucking happened. When it finally happened, they were way past their prime. And guess what? Nothing come from it because this guy, that guy, whatever. It happens all the time. These people that are way past their prime fight each other and then they retire, yada, yada, yada. It is a rotating circle. Wake up, sheeple. Anyway, Coop, go ahead. Sorry. I'm fucking tired of all these people. Like,
I think this whole thing really, it just sucks because Tom Aspinall clearly has the support of the fans behind him, with the exception of the few Jon Jones dick riders. But what sucks is that there's 2 people who need to agree to make this fight happen, to make the fight happen, and those two people are fucking Jon Jones and Dana White. Neither one of them wants this fight to happen, and it sucks because I feel like this fight would be Jon's toughest challenge since his initial light heavyweight run. Like, I feel like that would be his toughest fight by far. But I mean, it's unfortunate because I mean it's likely that he is going to retire. Like, I don't see a reality where Tom willingly goes, or where Jon willingly goes and fights Tom after the Stipe fight, which sucks. But I mean, it is what it is. Tom will inevitably be champion, and he'll fight, yeah, like fucking Gialto Almeida or some stupid shit. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Good.
Matt, what do you think, buddy?
Remind me what the topic was. Jon Jones.
Jon
All that
Jones.
bullshit. Okay, so the fight is as a huge Tom fan, my favorite heavyweight. The fight's not going to happen. It pisses me off, like anyone, the way this whole thing's playing out. I was saying this to y'all earlier. I'm sick of hearing like, oh, but it's the GOAT versus the heavyweight GOAT. It's legacy. It's this. It's 2024. It's not 2016. This fight does not mean anything. It doesn't prove that Jon Jones is the champion. It doesn't prove that he's the best in the heavyweight. It proves nothing. He's beating up an old guy that came off a knockout fucking goddamn 10 years ago, it feels like. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Dana. Dana, God bless him, he's clearly putting a lot of stock into Jones right now, which is good. You're a promoter. It's what you're supposed to do to all your fighters. You're supposed to build them up. He's clearly putting a lot of stock because sometimes he's talked shit about Jon in the past. I remember.
How bad?
I remember him saying that Jones should be scared of Ngannou, that he should be running to middleweight or whatever the fuck he said. I remember those days, and now he's all of a sudden, oh, Jon Jones is pound for pound number one. He's the greatest, blah, 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 blah. He's clearly putting a lot of stock into Jones, which is good, but this is Jones' last fight. Why are you investing in the past in a guy who's going to give you one more fight? And like I said, be a promoter, promote him, make that one last fight a good one. But you got Tom Aspinall, who's got years ahead of him. Put stock into that guy, build him up. It's going to pay off, dude. He's a fucking good fighter. Ideally, Jones' last fight is Aspinall, and that gets to be like if Aspinall wins, it's a really good passing of the torch, and it builds Aspinall up into something unfathomable that the heavyweight division hasn't seen. And if Aspinall loses, then Jon Jones, fucking legend, all that good stuff, and then Aspinall fights somebody else for the vacant belt. That's how it should go, but they are just so headstrong on this bullshit fight that should have happened a long ass time ago, and now they want to make it now, and both of these guys are in fucking wheelchairs. Not so much Jones. He's still a pretty young dude and all that stuff, but he is definitely at the end of his career. Stipe, dude, is old as shit. I could go on.
He's limping to the fucking arena, bro.
Yeah, I'm fed up with it. I've accepted it. I've accepted the fight's not going to happen. Jones, I get it. He doesn't want his last fight to be his toughest challenge in ages. I get that. But this is the fight game, and if you're not going to defend that belt, you're the champion. You're supposed to fight the best. If you're not going to do that, just call it a night or vacate the belt. And of course, I wouldn't expect him to ever do this. Why would he do it? But it would be the right thing to do. Vacate the belt, have your stupid ass little fight with Stipe, call it a career. And then let Tom do his thing. Let Tom be the champion of the division that he is. But all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Me and Squared are very fucking opinionated on this shit. I love it, dude. God. I'm gonna say it one more time. They're not fucking fighting.
No.
Dana's a liar.
Last topic. We can touch on this briefly. I mean, there's not too much to talk about. It's all been reported at this point. I don't see how you could be in disagreement of it with what's been brought out. Muhammad Mokaev got cut from the UFC after winning. He's an undefeated fighter. He's like 22 years old, 23, I think now. I mean, yeah, it's come out that he was rude to UFC staff. I think Steve Erceg said that. Obviously, Steve Erceg is a guy in his division. Chase Hooper alleviated to another person being cut for that reason after they were on a tear. So who knows? It could just be Steve Erceg blowing smoke in the water, but it's probably got to have some validation just because why would they cut a guy as boring as fighters have been in the UFC on a win streak like that? Why would they cut him if he's not doing something clearly that's if not in violation of his contract, that's just unacceptable to re-sign. I mean, they didn't cut him. I guess I shouldn't say that. They just chose not to re-sign him. The PFL doesn't want him either, apparently. So yeah, I guess the kid's got a lot to learn. Clearly, he's got character issues. I would imagine has something to do with it. Other than that, what can you say? I mean, all of it's speculation. His fights were very boring in the UFC. That's not why they cut him. That's all we know. So that's all we can really say. I mean, yeah, his fight sucked. I'm not really sad to see him gone, especially in that division that has gotten exciting in the last year and a half or so. I'd rather keep it that way than see another just boring grappler go and lay on top of people for 3 rounds and then get a last second submission, maybe. Knuckles, what do you think on the situation?
I mean, I think there's a multitude of reasons. Again, I've seen multiple fighters come out and say it. I've seen podcasts cover it. It goes beyond him being boring. It goes beyond it's a combination of a lot of things. I think if I had to speculate, I would say that number one, he was probably super fucking difficult to deal with in like renegotiation, like re-signing. I guarantee you they approached him about re-signing, but he was super difficult about it. I guarantee you he was wanting more than probably what they were wanting to offer. Number two, um, yeah, he's been fighting outside of the cage more than he's been fighting inside the cage. It's like he'll sit there and cause beef with whoever this guy's out. It's not just Manel Kopp; he's caused beef outside of Manel Kopp. So I think that it goes beyond that. So that's another thing. And then also his performances have been lackluster at best. His performance, his fight against Tim Elliott was all right. Malcolm Gordon was all right, but like they're all very wrestling heavy. People don't like that usually. Depending on what you prefer. I think he's okay. He's not my favorite fighter to watch, but he's also not my least favorite fighter to watch. It just depends on what you prefer. I don't really care for him as a person. I think he's kind of a piece of shit personally. At least from what I've gathered on everything that he's done on social, said on socials, yada yada yada. And yeah, honestly, I don't think he's gonna. I think this is one where I don't think he's gonna get resigned. I don't think that. I personally don't think that Dana and Hunter, unless he fucking just sucks him off at this point, because he even told him that he would fight for no pay in his next fight, and I still don't think they're gonna resign him. And obviously, PFL's not interested because they don't have a 125 division. The only thing they have is a 135 division. Does Mokaev beat um, uh, Patchy Mix at this point? Probably not. So, like, his best bet is one championship, where they'll make him fight at 135 because of the weight cutting rules, or ACA. ACA is another option. Yeah, I don't know. Dude's got a lot of growing up to do. I've seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot from fighters too. I think that he's gonna go fight for some lower known promotion. He's going to grow up a lot, and I think he's going to get even better. And I think that he will probably be UFC champion one day. I think he'll come back. I think he will come back, and I think he'll be UFC champion. He'll be better than ever, and who knows? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't really care because all I know is I'm super excited he's not in the UFC anymore. I'm more excited about, and I think the UFC is also more excited about these prospects as well, and that could factor into why this is happening. But Ray Saruya and the other guy that I'm happy, thank you, that guy, whatever the fuck his name is, I can't think of his name. That guy. those two guys are big prospects in the flyweight division that are younger in age and could be Tatsu or Tyra. That's his name. Could be super exciting, and I think that's what they're more focused on. But yeah, there you go. That's my opinion. Coop, what do you think?
I mean, it's always unfortunate to see someone lose their job, but in this case, it's less unfortunate because the fact that we knew he wasn't going to fight for the title, even though he basically won a title eliminator with Manel Kopp, we knew the fact that that wasn't who's next. I feel like even though the fight just happened, I think the winner of KKF Urseg, I think that's going to be who's next in line for the title. I think they get him in like December. That's my guess. But besides the point, it's not really that I'm sad to see him go, just because I'm not. Like, it's not he didn't excite me like at all in his fights. Like his fights were boring. They did not induce any sort of like joy in me watching them, which I know is kind of harsh, but I mean, he's young, he's undefeated, he's still got a lot of stuff to learn. I hope he goes and tears up the indie or regional scene or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be it's a long road, but I'm somewhat excited to see what he does.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Sorry, we were listening. We went on an adventure to kill a moth, and then we retrieved some Sonic cheese sticks. So, you know,
Yeah,
Mozzarella sticks. Fucking be cultured. Be cultured. I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back.
These mozzarella sticks just showed up, and I'm happy about it. But my opinion on the Mokaev thing. What was that?
Max, did you just fucking mute him?
I keep forgetting that he's living with me now and on the same camera, so I can't just mute myself whenever I want
Fucking
to.
look of disgust.
I be forgetting that sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh my god.
I'm used to just being able to like mute myself whenever.
Yeah.
Sonic's fucking banging though.
That's
Sure.
funny.
Oh my god.
Fun fact.
I just didn't want to hear him talk, and then I muted him, and I can still hear him talk. Anyways, Matt, what did you think about that current situation that we were just discussing?
So Mokaev, yeah, not a fan of the guy, but I do think it is, and I don't want to say it's like fucked what they did to him because he probably did deserve it. I'd venture to say he absolutely deserved it. Whatever he might have done exactly remains unknown, but I don't think they cut a guy that's like one or two fights away from a title shot for no reason at all. No matter how boring his fights are, fucking Khabib made it to the top the same way. And his fights were weird because they were boring, but they still always ended in a finish, which is it's like how the fuck you gonna like snooze us to sleep and then wake up to a fucking rear naked choke or something like that. But I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if his next fight is in the UFC. I think they definitely I almost think that this is more of like a punishment, like a weird kind of suspension than anything, because the PFL is not taking them, which in turn means Bellator's not taking them. The dude's not gonna go fight for ACA or anybody like that. So
Askar Askarov did. That's my only thing where I'm like,
yeah,
One would pay him.
yeah, one might take him, but that dude wants to be in the UFC. That dude wants to be in the UFC. He's 20, he's 22, 23 years old, super close to a title. He's not going to accept anything other than the UFC. I think he just is a free agent for like a while, and then him and his agent or manager or whatever in the UFC at some point down the line, and it might be a minute, it might be a couple months down the line, they'll probably come to terms and be like, all right, if you promise to be mature, we'll have you back now. If you promise to put your big boy pants on, we'll have you back. I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe he goes and fights for a couple fights, but he's too young and he's too talented. He's going to end up back in the UFC.
Oh yeah.
When you put it like that, it's so sad and it's so funny that they're treating him like a fucking child. And
But that's what he's been acting like though.
They put the dunce hat on him and told him to go sit in the corner is what they
exactly.
did. They put a stick in his mouth.
So before we close out, I had a question about a couple. Well, number one, this fight card this weekend may not be that terrible because it's only 10 fights. It's fucking horrendous on paper, but it's only 10 fights. So maybe Dana's onto something with that 10 fight number because I think it's going to be a lot more palatable than if it was 12 or 13. But secondly, a couple of names I wanted to mention that I'm super interested in, and I'm surprised they're not higher. One, I'm surprised this one's not higher on the card. Denise versus Williams. I just want to say that I think that Denise, I think both those guys are like decent prospects in the heavyweight division, like Williams, especially with being wrestling, but Denise for being a decently solid striker. I'm surprised that's not on the main card. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know if you guys have an opinion on that or not. He's the guy that beat Austin Lane, beat the fuck out of him in his last fight. No opinion, no opinion, no opinion. Anybody? I didn't think anybody had an opinion on that. Second fight, though, I want to touch on, or a second person, not really the fight, but the person I want to touch on. Danny Barlow fighting this weekend, big time. Love that. Tennessee native, right? I think he's Murfreesboro, Knoxville, Murfreesboro.
It's Memphis.
Chattanooga.
Wait, who?
Oh no, I'm thinking of
Barlow. You're thinking of Peak. Barlow is
No,
Memphis. They don't claim us. We don't claim them. So no, he's not from Tennessee.
But I was gonna say Memphis. Memphis is its like own thing. But so he's from Memphis.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
it's the same way you feel about St. Louis.
He's a Memphis. Yeah, exactly. We don't claim St. Louis, so he's a
no. It's honestly the same way you feel about Kansas City, Kansas.
That's better. There you go. I fuck Kansas City, Kansas. Anyway,
you like Kansas City? I thought St. Louis was one you were telling to fight.
No, Kansas City, Missouri.
He hates Kansas City, Kansas, but likes Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, KCK is dirty, dude. That place is disgusting. It's kind of like St. Louis. It's like East St. Louis. It's dirty. Anyway,
I went to a strip club in East St. Louis.
Max knows all about East St. Louis. That place is
it's a beautiful location, personally.
Anyway, but Danny Barlow though, big time shout out. That guy's a fucking beast. Can't wait to see him fight this weekend. What do we got? What do you guys think of him? I don't think he's going to be a champion, obviously, but I think he's got a good prospect to maybe making the top 15, top 10 one day. What do you guys think?
I think he's pretty solid.
Yeah, he's not bad. Is that like absolutely jacked motherfucker?
Oh yeah, dude. He's been releasing some solid footage too. He's got like a rat tail going on too. I don't know if you guys seen his footage lately.
Wait. I'm mixed up because you're talking about Barlow, right?
Yeah, Danny Barlow. He's bald.
No,
he's got
Torres Finney, dude.
Yeah,
that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
He's from Chattanooga. That's who I was thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Danny Barlow is 170. Torres, huh?
He was thinking of Finney.
I was thinking of Torres Finney. Yeah, that dude. That's about.
I mean, Barlow is jacked, but he's not jacked like Finney though.
Yeah, Finney is
specimen.
He's a character. Yeah,
he's a specimen.
He is unrealistic, is what he is.
Dude, my favorite clip I think I've seen this year is his knockout of that. Well, like if he falls perfectly in front of the camera and you can hear the dude snoring. I was like, oh, like God. I was like, damn. But yeah, no, dude. Danny Barlow. I just want to give a shout out to a couple fighters. Also, one of my favorite fighters in the bantamweight division, Chris Gutierrez. Got to give him a shout out. I love El Guapo. He is also one of, I think he's El Salvadorian, I believe, too. I don't quote me on that, but I believe he's El Salvadorian. So, of course, Alex likes him, too. We always support other people. I can't fucking get the words out.
What are you looking for there, bud?
We always support foreign fighters, El Salvadorian, Mexican, Jamaican, Nigerian, Spanish.
Yeah, I had to mix it up there before you got yourself in trouble.
I don't know what I was trying to say with that. I'm not even drunk either. Like I don't know what I was trying to say with that. I was like, we always support, and then I'm like,
I'm fairly intoxicated, and I was suspect.
yeah, I don't even know. I'm not even intoxicated really. Like I'm buzzed slightly. But anyway, what I want to say is we always support Chris Gutierrez. I think that's what I was trying to say. I meant to say I support Chris Gutierrez because I know not everybody might not be a fan of him. I like the guy, love the dude, want to see him succeed. He's fighting an undefeated fighter this weekend and was supposed to be fighting. Who was he supposed to be?
Yeah, Basharat.
I'm glad they switched the fighter because I don't know if I don't know if he would have won that one. But the guy he's fighting is undefeated. I'm gonna have to check the dude out. But shout out Chris Gutierrez, love the guy. That's pretty much all I got to say. That's the only thing I want to touch on about this card this weekend is Danny Barlow, Chris Gutierrez, and that I think it's Andre Deniz or something.
I mean,
so
these fight cards that stuck on paper always have the potential to put out just some of the best fights we've ever seen in our life. So we'll see. Hopefully that's the case.
Fight of the year between Tybura and Spivak, you know.
Yeah.
My favorite milk bag.
No, your favorite milk bag just lost in karate combat on now.
My second favorite milk bag.
Anyways, hopefully this card will be able to show itself as one that we can look back on and, hate on ourselves because it ends up being a great card. We'll see. It happens all the time.
Brother, I mean, Damon Jackson versus Chepe Mariscal got promoted to co-main event. That'll
be a good fight. I'm gonna turn it off after that fight. But anyways, it could be a good card. We'll all be watching, I'm sure. As much as we always shit on these kind of cards, we'll still be watching as long as we have nothing going on. Again, we appreciate everybody hopping on. We just kind of shot the shit on this one. Talked about some news. I'm sure we'll do this more often. Just good episode to put out there with the card being a tad bit underwhelming this week, just to be frank. But again, love everybody that hops in here and listens to us just talk shit and talk MMA. Pretty soon we'll have other podcasts that talk shit and talk other sports. So, I don't really have anything to add. Just go follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We got our Instagram page up and running. Facebook's up and running. So we are everywhere you could find us, quite literally, on social media. YouTube, obviously, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Honestly, we're on other streaming sites that we don't even intend to stream to. So go find us there. Knuckles, anything to close with?
Love y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Stay tuned for some artist series coming out. Obviously, Squared has his artist series. I have my artist series and the edits that we're going to be making in the future. And we're going to have a little bit more content coming towards the podcast, at least me more so. And I think everybody else too, more geared towards the podcast account. So check out Bench Burner Sports. There's going to be a lot more coming there. Shifting my focus mainly towards podcast and instead of my account because I just more focused on the podcast and some fun content coming out there. And that's pretty much it. Just check out the Twitter and the Instagram. We're putting in work. We're having fun, and we just want everybody to tune in and give your opinion. Also on our posts, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you have, give us your opinion. We really want to hear it. We love getting feedback on what we're doing, what we can do better. So appreciate it. Coop, what about you, man? What do you got to say?
Nothing much, really. It's a great episode. Good to be back. Excited for some of the stuff coming up, except for this card because it's a load of crap. But yeah, subscribe, follow us on socials. I know I post semi-decent articles and mediocre tweets, but yeah, so see ya.
Cool. Square, what's up, bud?
Good to be back on. Good to kind of switch things up, like we've been saying, just kind of try something new. And I really enjoyed this, and I felt like it was a really good energy. So sure we'll dabble more into this and other things as well, go down a couple different avenues. And yes, follow us on social media, Twitter at bench_burner, Instagram, Bench Burner Sports, all one word across the board. We're on Facebook as well, just Bench Burner Sports, spaces and all. So yeah, just follow us on there. I like to think we put out some pretty good content, and we will continue to do so and get better at it as we go. And yeah, thanks for watching, y'all.
Cool. All right, everybody. I hope you guys have a good night. That's it from us.